Yes, so we've sent the link on the official PSYCON WhatsApp group. I hope all of you are members of that. If not, there's a QR code on the bottom left which you can scan, and then you can use that website, keep that tab open on your phones to interact through the subsequent sessions. Now we'll move on to the opening ceremony, and we'll meet again at the end of the second session. Thank you.
Thank you all. Now we are honored to have with us today Dr. Sunita Nayan Mukherjee, the chairperson of PSYCON, will now address the gathering. Please welcome Dr. Sunita.
Good morning, everyone. It's really truly a great day. It feels very good to see so many of you gathered here. I welcome you all on behalf of the Department of GIPS, the Psychology Department of GIPS, and all the psychiatrists and staff. Thank you once again. We are grateful to our speakers, to our moderators, and co-moderators for helping this event become, the success I think it is going to be. GIPS PSYCON is the brainchild of one of our directors, Dr. Himanshu Desai. Sir, thank you so much for putting the Department of Psychology in the forefront. It was his vision to make the Psychology Department a notable entity in itself. And I thank him and I thank him and Dr. Sohas, Dr. Manial, all the doctors, Dr. Punita, I'm sorry if I'm missing names, Pradeep sir, Dharmesh sir, everyone, thank you so much for adjusting their schedules, their practice in these days to accommodate our work and schedule. Thank you so much. The vision of PSYCON is to bring together people who have a desire to do something different, something constructive and productive to society. The vision is to get like-minded people on one platform, to network, to collaborate, to organize events that can encourage mental health awareness. We keep talking about mental health awareness, but I think it doesn't matter how much you do, how much work you do, it is always going to be a little less. Right? Today's topic actually, interestingly has been suggested by Dr. Sameer. And this is a topic very close to my heart because I do feel social media has, social media has a profound impact on our minds, our behavior, and what bothers me is, in spite of the interactions we are supposedly doing on net and supposedly getting closer to people, I find problematic behaviors on the rise. Whether it is isolating, seeing children being isolated in schools, the people talking about being sensitive. When are they really being sensitive, or are they being touchy? Are we becoming more? Do we have a low threshold to suggestions? Are we easily offended? And I do not know, but I do feel social media has a lot to do, in increasing our levels of insecurity, in making us feel inadequate. Probably, as Dr. Madhusudan said, it is not social media in itself, it's the way we are utilizing it. Right. So, mental health awareness programs are being conducted by GIPS, whether it is in terms of anger management, whether, how to be happy. dealing with exam stress. So we are going to continue to do these programs, and we are going to continue to hold annual psychological conferences, and we hope we see more of you, not only interested in coming here as participants, but interested in, building networks and ensuring that there is a movement to spread mental health awareness. I would like to thank Mr. Parimal Astik for being, relentless in, helping this event take place. I would like to extend my, I think I'm very privileged and blessed to be sharing space with legends. Dr. Samir, Dr. Hansal Bachesh, Dr. Nitin Shah, Dr. Mania. I am truly blessed to be on this platform with all of you. Dr. Nitin Shah has shown unwavering support in this vision, in this dream. He has been benevolent and charitable as he has been in all his activities. He is the founder chairman and managing trustee of Heart Foundation, and he is a patron of Indian Institute of Public Health. He is a patron of Diabetes Care India. He is the president of National Association for the Blind, or 26 branches, and a trustee and executive medical director of Blind People's Association. He is the chairman of World Peace Rally in 2019 and the trustee of Utthan for mentally challenged people. He was the former trustee of VS Hospital and the medical director of Gujarat of International Association of Medical Assistants to Travelers, USA. I'm sorry I have to read it out because the list is very long. He is a patron, and his activities are immense, far and wide. So he's actively engaged in various social welfare initiatives through truly generous donations under the banner of Heart Foundation and Research Institute. So thank you so much, sir. You are truly an inspiration for all of us. I am deeply grateful and honored to also welcome Dr. Hansal Bachesh, sir. He is a legend in his own right. Even long before I think I met him for the first time today, but personally I have seen him from a distance. But I have heard a lot about him, all positive. So thank you so much, sir. I would like to call upon stage. I would like to call Dr. Mania, sir, to say a few words. So when I talk of legends, Dr. Mania is a legend in his own right. People all over India come to him for treatment, his diagnosis, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sunita Ma'am. Respected Nitin Bhai, the legend, and I tell him my Mota Bhai, and he says me Nana Bhai. Dr. Hansal Bachesh, very well-known person. All of you must have read about him in newspaper Gujarat Samachar and might have heard in number of such programs. All other legends, dignitaries on the dais, and all of you are dignitaries. All of you are dignitaries. Good morning and a very welcome to the GIPS PSYCON. It fills me with great joy to see so many of you here today. Before we begin with our proceedings for the day, I would like to take a minute to talk about our clinic GIPS, Gujarat Institute of Psychological Sciences, and our Healthy Mind Hospital. For those of you unfamiliar with our clinic, we are a group of psychiatrists and psychologists dedicated to providing comprehensive mental health care to our community. Our wonderful team of keen psychiatrists, therapists, and nurses work tirelessly to offer a variety of treatment options tailored to each individual needs. We provide exceptional psychiatric treatment at multiple settings that makes it accessible to patients from different parts of the city and from different strata of our society. Our team of psychologists provide counseling services to all age groups and perform various psychological assessments. And this Department of Psychology, the team of psychologists, has organized this conference today. We recognize the field of mental health is constantly evolving, and we strive to be at the forefront of that change. This is precisely why we are thrilled to introduce one of our newest cutting-edge treatment options, transcranial magnetic stimulation, or known as TMS. This non-invasive technique offers immense potential for those struggling with treatment-resistant depression and other conditions. But today is not just about supposing our advancement, it's about fostering collaboration. We at GIPS Clinic and De-Addiction Center firmly believe that the most effective mental health care comes from a multidisciplinary approach. Not only psychiatrists, not only psychologists, not only social workers, the whole team work together and can get the best results. This conference serves as a bridge between psychiatrists, therapists, social workers, researchers, and all other dedicated professionals who play a vital role in supporting mental well-being. So let us share our experiences, learn from one another, and most importantly, let us continue to push the boundaries of mental health treatment. Together, we can create a world where mental well-being is not just a privilege, but a reality for everyone. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Dr. Nitin Bhai for his unwavering support and belief in us. Thank you, Nitin Bhai. Please come and share your thoughts with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Maniar sir. May I please request as chief guest of the conference to share a few words.
Ladies and gentlemen, and who is sitting on the dais board, because I know Dr. Patel, Rajesh Bhai, Himanshu Bhai, and others. First of all, they should not tell me that I am the guest of honor. I am a part of GIPS, and every 6 months I want to do program, awareness, psychology, psychotherapy, psychiatry, because my work in heart and everything is preventive and curative is Dr. Patel. Sorry, because of drugs and everything. So I have a very big speech, but I don't want to tell more. It is a great honor to be chief guest of PSYCON 2024. Firstly, I'd like to praise GIPS for working in the field of mental health, illness, removing the stigma of mental health issue and organizing conference with HFRL. I am a strong supporter of mental health. I have done survey of very good number of patients about the psychotherapy and psychology. I will give you one example. My father was Dr. Suman Shah. First, I think one doctor should sit and bedside manner and ask the detailed history, then sit for discussion. So, not because of my father, everybody knows. The Suman Bhi આવે એટલે 50% ઘર જતું. Why? It comes under psychology, psychotherapy, or what? No, I don't know. So, I am a strong supporter of mental health, as I have done survey truck drivers also with the DG, which halter 80% have effect in cardiogram and not in detail, they have given treatment and other things. I have also established holistic health care in Sola Bhagwat. So if you have time, you go and see Sola Bhagwat. I realize that 70% of disease are psychosomatic and anxiety elusive in the stressful lifestyle we live. I urge to focus strongly on mental health, and I would like to support to everybody, and I am a member of the GIPS honorary and supporting, and Rajesh Bhai is my younger brother, and Himanshu Bhai is my also younger brother. So I am part of team. And another thing, I have given a big advertisement in Gujarat Samachar for scholarship, education, and etc. You can contact Himanshu Bhai. If anybody wants to go up, means upliftment I am going to do in education. Any university or any part that you apply, we have certain norms that you will see. Wish you all the best and success, and thanks to team of GIPS and especially Manshu Bhai and Rajesh Bhai and Pachesh Bhai. I have to give time. I am believing in prevention. So he will tell you about the other thing. It is worth listening to you. So thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I please request Dr. R.C. Mania, sir, to felicitate our chief guest.
I am a family member of GIPS.
But always, elders are always respected.
But I am not elder. Still I am 80 and working.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My heart is younger than everyone of us.
Now, may I please request Dr. Hansal Pachesh to say a few words.
Good morning. Respected Dr. Nitin Bhai sir, Dr. Mania sir, and dear colleagues. Today I am here for a reason. This GIPS team is doing such a great work that I wanted to be a part of this.
and I want to clap for them publicly. You can also join me. जबरदस्त माणसो છે એકે એક અને જબરજસ્ત કામ કરે છે. I admire them all, and that's why it is the reason I am standing here. Great work. Just few words about social media and mental health. Now that social media has become a part of our life, we cannot ignore its effect. As Krishna Bhagavan said in Gita, that everything is Trigunatmak. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Same way, social media has three faces. It has a sattvic face, it has a rajasic face, and it has a tamasic face also. By sattvic face, I mean whatever is needed to do on a social media, if you are doing it, you are using its sattvic face. Tamasic face is a phase where you should be doing a thing which should not be done on a social media. And a rajasic phase, that is a human phase, that thoda acha, thoda bura. And most of us are keep doing that. Just do one experiment. Snatch your friend's mobile. ખેંચી લો એના અને પછી જોઈને ઓહો વાહ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ ગજબ માણસ છું. જસ્ટ અટર ધીસ વર્ડ. એ તમારા હાથમાંથી ફોન ખેંચવા માટે કુદાકૂદ કરશે. So what is the inference? If we are doing a work which is not to be done on this. And that's why we are worried that somebody is looking at our screen or somebody is doing this. It has changed the relationship. If you love me, give me your password. If you trust me, get nude in front of the screen. This is how relationship works. So we need to understand that most of us are using either tamasic phase of this media, or we are mindless when we are using it. So as a therapist, as a mental health practitioner, what we should be doing? It's a very important media. So we cannot say our client that don't use it. But we need to make them aware about the mental health and a social media, and that is what they are doing today. We need to make them aware. Personally, we should also use social media very responsibly. I have seen that the many of us putting the reels and all those stuff, they are always on a social media, and then we say our client that use it sensibly. Mind well, they are watching you. They might not be answer back, but they would think that સાહેબ તમે આખો દિવસ નવરા બેસી રીલો બનાયા કરો છો અમને ના પાડો છો. So we should use our media sensibly, and we should teach our client to use it sensibly, mindfully. That is very important, because most of the time people do a mindless scrolling. Just they go on scrolling, and that affects mental health. So finally, I would like to tell you all that help your client to be resilient so that they can use this social media effectively and they would not succumb to a cyberbullying and FOMO and nomophobia and lot many other anxiety-related issues which is being precipitated by the technology. And final words to all of you, that all of you are mental health professionals. Think like a mental health professional. Don't give a simple advice. Chinta nahi karwani, negative vicharo magadmagi kaadi nakhwana. These are not the advice which we should be giving. We are a mental health professional. Think like a mental health professional and behave like a mental health professional. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patel. May I please request our Managing Director, Dr. Pradeep Vagasia sir, to felicitate you.
So if you could just check your phones, you must be seeing a question right now. And it will have 5 options and you can select whichever one you think is right. Ready for the next question? In what ways do literary works explore the psychological impact of social media on interpersonal relationships?
સો આ સાઇટ ઉપર તમે બધા ફોનમાં ચાલુ રાખજો સાઇટ અને જે સવાલો પૂછાય એના જવાબ આપજો અને Q&A સેશન માટે પણ એક પેજ છે તો તમારા સવાલ લખજો અને જે ક્વેશ્ચન તમને ગમે એને થમ્સ અપ આપજો એટલે એનો જવાબ તમને વહેલો મળશે. આભાર.
Our next session focuses on social media and mental health by Dr. Sameer Parekh from Fortis Delhi. To introduce Dr. Parekh, may I please call upon the stage our session moderator, Dr. Bhavesh Lakadwala. Dr. Bhavesh is a professor and the head of the psychiatry department at Narendra Modi Medical College and Sheikh LG General Hospital in Ahmedabad. With 46 publications in both national and international journals, he has presented papers in numerous conferences and actively participates in CMEs. Thank you, sir. Now I may please call upon stage our co-moderator, Dr. Spandan Thakur, to introduce the topic. Dr. Thakur presides as an MD Psychiatry at Mood and Mind Clinic. He has been a visiting consultant at Sabarmati Central Jail and now serves as a counselor at Shreyas Foundation. He is also a popular columnist in Divya Bhaskar.
Now may I please request Dr. Himanshu Desai sir to bring our next speaker, Dr. Sameer Parekh on stage.
Dr. Sameer Parekh is my good friend. Initially, he was a physical friend. Now he is social media friend. Because he lives in Delhi and I am in Ahmedabad. ગુજરાતી માં કહીએ તો મારા જે ટીચર હતા ડોક્ટર કમલેશ દવે અને હિમાંશુભાઈ તો બધા કન્ટેમ્પરરી. તો હિમાંશુભાઈ પાસે I have heard many stories about the Sameer Parekh. In BJ Medical College, and interesting and exciting stories about સાહેબ મને કહેતા એ સમયે હું તો 2002 માં રેસિડેન્સી કરવા આવ્યો હતો તો મારાથી તો 5-6 વર્ષ સિનિયર હતો કે એમણે કોમ્પ્રિહેન્સિવ ટેક્સ્ટ બુક ઓફ સાયકેટ્રી પહેલા વર્ષમાં જ વાંચી લીધી હતી જે સાયકેટ્રીની ટેક્સ્ટ બુકનો ગ્રંથ કહેવાય. Big claps for that. અને એ સમયે એ ઘરે અવર પ્લેનમાં કરતા આપણે વિચારી પણ ના શકીએ. So now at present Dr. Sameer Parikh is a eminent psychiatrist and director of Department of Mental Health and Behavioral Sciences at Fortis Hospitals, New Delhi. So I have already told that he has passed his post graduation from BJ Medical College and he is very active in several awareness campaigns, programs, courses for the not only for doctors, psychologists and allied specialties. First of all, I would like to thank GIPS team for inviting me as a chairperson. And I have not thought that this program would be such successful. અહીં આવ્યા પછી જ ખબર પડી કે આ તો મેં વિચાર્યું એના કરતાં ઘણું બધું મોટી છે. મારા રેસિડન્ટ્સ છે એને મેં બોલાવ્યા છે. They are sitting on the steps. ચેર પણ ફૂટી પડી છે. How many of you are psychiatrists? How many of you are psychiatrists? So, few or very few, most of our psychologists. So, sir has told, Maniyar sir has told that multidisciplinary approach in the GIPS it is running. So that is the need of an hour. Psychiatrists alone cannot do anything. Psychologist, psychiatric social worker, all are needed. But now we have become biological psychiatrists. We prescribe drugs and do not focus on the psychotherapy. So that should not be there. So that is my humble submission that my residents would not do this. And initially Dr. Madhusudan, I have written some points from him that Dr. Madhusudan Mukherjee, he has laid a very good foundation of this conference. And he has given various good examples, like examples with figures. So you should also know that how the presentation can be made. It was very interactive. It was not one way. He was speaking and he was in between making humors also. So that is the way of presentation. And such many examples he has given. But now I should stop here, otherwise you will say that who is the speaker and who is the chairperson. Now I give the mic to Dr. Spandan Thakur.
Good morning to everyone and thank you inviting me from Team GIPS and this is a wonderful program that is going to go. હવે આપણે સોશિયલ મીડિયાની વાત કરીએ તો સોશિયલ મીડિયાનો ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સ બધા પર જ છે અને હું કહીશ કે જરૂરી પણ છે. સોશિયલ મીડિયા ઇઝ ડુઇંગ અ ગ્રેટ થિંગ. પણ એને છે જનરેશનને બે ભાગમાં વહેંચી કાઢી. જે જૂની જનરેશન હતી એ સાયકેટ્રિક પ્રોબ્લેમને જરાય માનતી જ નથી. સાયકોલોજીકલ શબ્દને આપણે વિચારીએ બે ભાગમાં તો એ લોકો એને સાયકો કરતા હતા. અને આજની જે જનરેશન છે એ અવેરનેસના લીધે વધુ પડતા લોજિકલ થઈ ગયા છે. એટલે બંને જગ્યાએ ક્યારેક ક્યારેક પ્રોબ્લેમ થાય છે. આજકાલના લોકો વધારે પડતા ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સના કારણે નાની નાની વસ્તુઓની એન્ઝાયટી લઈને આવે છે. વન ડે પેશન્સ કહું છું એમને, કે જે રીલ્સ જોઈને આવે આપણે એમની નીંદ તોડીએ અને જતા રહે. બટ જો સોશિયલ મીડિયાની વાત કરીએ તો એ ઘણા લોકો જે સાવ એકલા રહેતા હોય છે, જેમની સેલ્ફ એસ્ટીમ ઘટી જાય, એમને એક બૂસ્ટ આપે છે, એમને કનેક્ટ કરવા માટેનો એક મોકો આપે છે. જ્યારે બીજા ઘણા લોકો છે જે વધુ પડતા ઉપયોગના કારણે બિનજરૂરી વાતો એમના મગજમાં જાય અને એના કારણે તેમની સેલ્ફ એસ્ટીમ ગુમાવી દે, એન્ઝાયટી થાય, ડિપ્રેશન થાય, ઘણી બધી વસ્તુઓ ઇમ્પેક્ટ પણ કરતા હોય. એટલે આજકાલના બધા જે યુવાનો છે એમને હું કહેતો હોઉં છું કે તમારું મગજ પોકેટમાં નથી રાખવાનું, તમારું મગજ અહીંયા છે. એટલે આખું ને આખું મોબાઈલ ઉપર આધારિત જીવન જીવવાની જગ્યાએ તમે કનેક્ટ થાઓ, લોકો જોડે મળો અને રીલ્સની જગ્યાએ રિયલ લાઈફની અંદર થોડા કનેક્ટ થવું જોઈએ. પણ સોશિયલ મીડિયાની જે બંને બાજુઓ છે એના કારણે જે પણ પ્રોબ્લેમ્સ થાય છે તો એનો ઉપયોગ કઈ રીતે કરવો, કઈ રીતે વસ્તુઓ સમજવી, કોણ આપણને કહી રહ્યું છે, જે સૌથી મોટી મહત્વની વસ્તુ છે. કારણ કે રીલ્સ બનાવનારા મોટાભાગના લોકો છે. સાયકોલોજી ઇઝ અ વેરી ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્શિયલ ટોપિક. સાયકોલોજી વિશે જો તમે વાત કરો તો તમારા લાઇક્સ વધી જાય, આપણે જાણીએ છીએ. પણ એના લીધે ઘણા બધા પ્રોબ્લેમ્સ પણ થતા હોય છે, કારણ કે મિથ્સ બહુ બધી ફેલાતી હોય છે. સો ઇટ્સ બેટર કે તમે મીડિયાનો યુઝ કરો, પ્રોપર રીતે યુઝ કરો. અને જો બહુ સારી રીતે યુઝ કરવામાં આવે તો સોશિયલ મીડિયા ઇઝ અ વેરી ગુડ કનેક્ટિંગ એપ્રોચ. તો બસ આપણે આજે જાણીએ અને આ પ્રોગ્રામ દ્વારા આપણે ઓળખીશું કે કઈ રીતે સાયકેટ્રી, સાયકોલોજી અને મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ પ્રોફેશનલ્સ વર્ક કરે છે અને કઈ રીતે એનો ઉપયોગ થવો જોઈએ. થેન્ક યુ.
Thank you so much, sir.
Coming to Ahmedabad is a blessing. Still feels like an examination. It still feels like an examination. I actually have 1-2 examiners, almost examiner, a teacher, way too many people. Just scary coming to Ahmedabad. It's very scary. If anywhere else is not an issue, Ahmedabad is a bit of an issue because I have to be so careful. The other day I was talking to Himanshu Bhai and he says, "Baki batu theek hai, bajan ke madi kuch hai." Right? So after this talk, I don't know what is going to happen, but yeah. My take on social media is picking up what Sir said. Let's be very clear about a couple of things. It's here, it's not going anywhere. It's more intrusive than what we could have ever thought it would be. It will be a lot more intrusive. If we are not intelligent enough, then that's it. It's not in our control. There's very little we'll be able to do. I do feel mental health practitioners have a very significant role to play. And I do feel that mental health, I mean, Freud used to say that a mental health professional probably shouldn't have a social life. Very old school, right? But in modern day times, I do feel that the nature of presence on social by a mental health professional needs to be done with a great sense of responsibility. Pre-social media, if I had to go and see a film, I mean, you might have taken a talk in a school in the morning, right? And you are saying something, and then you meet the same young kid in a session that in a film that you're watching, a restaurant that you've gone to. You just can't stop being you. That's not an option you have in your life. Mental health profession has its beauties. It's a remarkable branch. But you can't take the ownership away. You're a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a mental health professional, you are there 24/7. I don't subscribe to a switch on and switch off in life. I don't believe that's a possibility that you have. Most of you, one way or the other, are going to have a lot of interactions. One way or the other, most of you are going to have a lot of interactions with young people directly or through social. You don't have the luxury of letting your guard down. That's not going to happen. That's the most fundamental thing you need to understand. I'm going to speak a couple of aspects on social. What mental health professionals should and should not do. I have a very, very clear opinion on that. I also feel we need to understand what is the impact of social happening and also how it is misleading us, right? In terms of just because something comes on your feed, that really does not mean that it's actually as prevalent in the world, right? Try doing, check out some silly syndrome. I had not heard about imposter syndrome throughout my career. Nobody taught me imposter syndrome. These guys certainly did not teach me. It wasn't there. It still, by the way, isn't there. Right? But now, you will believe, and you never know. When tomorrow an examination would have just seen a social feed may actually end up asking some of these silly questions because they don't exist. We just keep coining these names, throwing them at it, become a trend. A trend lasts for a few minutes to half an hour, 45 minutes, it's gone and dusted. But we don't get that, right? Algorithms define what you see. Your search history defines what you see. That does not mean that is the prevalence, right? Even today, 3 in 4 people do not seek mental health experts or mental health help, fact of life. So just because your field has a lot of mental health related stuff happening, that does not mean people are open out there coming to talk to you. Let's not live in that fool's paradise. I'm sorry, that's not true. 3 in 4 people do not come to seek help. That's something we need to be very clear about. So if we believe we've done a lot of awareness and we've broken the barriers, not at all. I don't even see that happening, at least not in my lifetime. It's been what, 25 odd years? The same study and exam skills talks that I was taking way back in 2000, I'm still taking them. And they still are relevant because people are still not following them. So for us to believe that the world has changed and moved on, I don't think that's true. And it's very important for us to understand this. And then let's look at the kind of mental health impact. Years back, if you would have come across this study, when some of these platforms were in their beginning phases, there was a study done to identify which platform is doing more harm. I'm not going to take platform names, it's not very complex for people to understand what I'm saying. We are mental health partners for most of these platforms in India, so I really can't take names. But there are certain kind of platform was more likely to cause mental health concerns as compared to someone else, primarily because the written text was less. So if you go on a platform which is driven by only, let's say, a still image or now videos, you are very less likely to read post copy or the caption, right? And that's why how times change, you have filters, you have those editions, you have those fancy stuff happening, so that whatever you want to write, you write it on that. If you're a young practitioner and if you have been unfortunate enough to meet somebody who calls themselves a digital marketer, they will come and give you a lot of yarn about SEO, right? They don't know shit, right? Most people have not understood it and get that very clearly. And if you believe that you are going to write an article on depression and it's going to show on these pages, sorry, not happening, right? There are hundreds and millions and thousands of articles out there. Yours is not coming in the first 100 pages. You can do what you want. If somebody is going to tell you that you 3 seconds में समझा भी दो, and पहला 20 second अगर कहना चाहिए, don't make it. Right? पहला 20 second अगर कहना हो ही नहीं सकता. That is absolute nonsense. In fact, I believe that very similar, a short format is just, it's not for us. I mean, yeah, you will have to do certain things, but what you do needs to be very careful. The problem is that mental health professionals have started sounding like influencers, and that's a concern. Influencers sounding like idiots is not a problem. I mean, that's a job, right? The mere fact that you have the narcissistic audacity to call yourself an influencer. I mean, what, yeah? The narcissistic audacity to say I have followers. Utter nonsense. You don't have followers, boss. You are making a fool of yourself. And others with remarkable lack of neurocognitive abilities, who are unfortunate enough to not have a better thing to do in his life, are doing this, some of them because of social conformity of peers, some of them because of the hashtags, and by the hashtags are passé, nobody quite cares about hashtags. If you truly believe that you are going to go on a social page and first look at a hashtag, and again, time passed, you were just there, and you continue to stay there. Understand some of these things. The problem is this is something that we used to talk when I was in civil. Kamlesh Bhai and I used to talk about the inside 6 plus revision. Inside can 6 ni 5 plus are no problem. So intellectual insight is good point. Insight needs to be very clear. You need to know why you are doing it, what is the purpose you are doing it, what are you getting out of it. If you have more followers, you will not have more patients. If you believe that followers and patients are related, you are badly mistaken. Right? You are very, very badly mistaken. If you truly believe that you will make a viral video, you are badly mistaken. You are not going to make a viral video. Unless you really act very, very stupid. I also believe that be proud about who you are. The sense of self always. I'm a psychiatrist, I'm a psychiatrist said the same. I'm not a motivator. There is no qualification. I'm a psychiatrist, I have nothing to feel ashamed about it. Yes, I write, so I'm an author. I speak, so I'm a speaker. And unfortunately, there are people who want to take mentoring from me, so God bless them, they have not met the true mentors. It's their problem, not mine. It's the statistics of life. Very few are lucky, most are unlucky. That's the math. I was, you aren't, sorry. So, I can't do much about it. So one has to understand this, right? But you can't start calling yourself ridiculous names. So for example, if you're a counseling psychologist, why do you want to call yourself a clinical psychologist? The definition is very clear, yeah. Have you done MPhil? Do you have a PhD? If you don't, you can't be also a clinical psychologist. Read the Mental Health Act. Definition लिखी हुई है यार, क्या मतलब है? और भी शर्म की बात थोड़ी ना. We have to be honest. And we have to feel good about ourselves. I am very happy about the fact that what E1 and E2 we shared with, my psychiatry ward in civil, one side was shared with orthopedics, other side was shared with pediatric plastic surgery. We weren't shut in some corner because we didn't have self-esteem. One has to understand this aspect. Please be honest to your branch. What mental health professionals must do is be careful today that whatever goes out on the digital world, it's not going to go out. So you have to be careful, you have to be responsible. And just because you feel that you also have a personal private page, and in that you can be stupid, there is nothing personal, there is nothing private. Whether you have 10 people on that page or 5,000 people, it's not going to make a difference. If you truly believe that there are 50 people out there in the world who will keep your messages and your videos only between them and not share with anybody else, then again life passed you. So starting with social media, what a mental health practitioner should do, be who you are, talk what you know. You don't need to do spot marketing. Every trend doesn't need to be followed. It's fine. And we are not going to trend. And we are not going to trend. Not in my lifetime, not in your lifetime. The deficit is going to continue to be there. We are not going to be financially or otherwise be at the same level as some of the other branches. We are not going to be able to take care of the outreach that is there. Fact, you are in this branch for a reason. You'll do very well financially also. But if you're planning to compare yourself to some surgical kind of a branch, then I'm sorry, never going to happen. Not that you need so much, I still don't know the car I have. It truly doesn't matter also. But that's what the world does. Relative deprivation was something that Dr. Panchal sir had once taught me. That's what social is doing to us. Relative deprivation. You may be a have. I mean, all of us are have. We're sitting in an AC room, right? Most of you have used a form of a transport to come here. We are in 0.1% of the population globally. We can't really complain. It's a different issue that we complain more. Right? Some of you may complain, seat ऐसी थी, या पानी ठीक नहीं था, ये ठंडा नहीं था, वो नहीं था. That's just privilege, stupidity. Right? Doesn't quite matter. Because we are ungrateful like that. If your contentment level is not there, then you will do something silly to raise the bar up. That's why it is important that when you present out in the world yourself, please ensure that you are who you are, use the right qualification, most basic thing. Speak like what your qualification is. Do not give facts which are not true. Also be very, and Dr. Vankar used to ask us this question a lot. Get out some reference care. Right? I mean, two things I learned from Dr. Vankar that also affected a lot. Reference care or prevalence care. That if you are sitting in a clinic and you've seen about 20 patients, random selection, and if you're diagnosing 18 of them as paranoid schizophrenia, then probably that's kind of not possible, right? Statistics is, I mean, unless you're doing a schizophrenia only clinic, that's a separate issue. So the prevalence needs to match, and in these times, please don't do plagiarism. And picking up things from any AI-enabled platform is extension of plagiarism. Don't do it, it is embarrassing. It is very embarrassing to read posts of mental health practitioners where you know it has been picked from place A or B or directly downloaded from some place. I mean, surely we can do better than that. Do you know how does AI write? Right? It chooses the best word after each word you write, which is not possible for humans. So if you write a paragraph using one of these platforms, and Sir writes articles. So if, let's say, the best of the best article is written, you cannot write 500 words but the next word is the best option only. The only best option. And that takes away the human aspect and it will be seen through. You will actually be able to see through it. That has this come from this way or that way. So don't do plagiarism. And you don't need to act silly to be cool. You need to be you. You are cool. And somebody doesn't need to tell you what is cool and what isn't because everybody is different. So as a starter, I think what is important is be who you are, but be responsible. Always make sure that whatever you are sharing is factually correct and it is an expression of your understanding, and that's about it. Now, whether 3 people watch it or 500 people watch it doesn't matter. But that approach, I think, is very important. And you will have pressures, be very clear about it. So, you keep getting CVs, you put a post for a hiring job and you get a few CVs. Now imagine, you're a hiring manager. I have to take an interview tomorrow of 5 people. Now if in the CV, a fresh pass out, you may be a psychiatrist, psychologist, whoever you are. That doesn't change it. But you are a founder and CEO of something. How do you expect you to be hired? How can it, what are you thinking? And why do you need to be a founder and CEO? I am not a founder. I certainly am not a CEO. If my CEO comes to know, I will, oh God, right? I am a psychiatrist. I am a clinician. I do what I know. And I only know psychiatry a little bit. Very little. I don't know most things. We have an RTMS machine. I will tell you an RTMS story. I don't know how to switch it on. हमारे में नहीं थी यार, नहीं आता. So all the young psychiatrists were all busy, and some international delegation came and said, साहब आप दिखाओ. So I took them. I didn't know. I just kept on looking at the old machine. I could not find the switch on button, and it wasn't embarrassing. It was very funny. I don't need to feel embarrassed about not knowing how to use RTMS. But I need to know what are the indications so that I don't deny that right to my patient. Now, 2 different things, right? I should know that there exists a certain form of treatment and how it has to be used is for somebody else. What I do is I tell them that I think you are a candidate where it can benefit you. Can you just go to the doctor? He is the expert. They'll decide what they have to do. That's what I do. If you come to me with fever, I am not going to give you a paracetamol. It's been 25 years of private practice. I haven't written a paracetamol. End of the story. नहीं आता है यार. मतलब मैं अपने बुखार पे तो अपने physician को पूछता हूँ. If I am going to ask my physician for what I need to take, who am I to write? And I don't feel bad about it. In fact, I'm very happy that some of these grounding forces have taken place in my life. That when I had first gone to Delhi way back in 2000, I was told by someone that अपनी Harrison अपने पास रखना. Harrison देखी नहीं थी, पर पास कैसे रखना? I didn't own one, never read one. I didn't need to. Harrison पढ़ने तो medicine करता ना. I would have done psychiatry. City में पढ़ी. North American में नहीं पढ़े. And I was also told once by Dr. Himanshu, can you stop writing references? Right? I was so scared about what stories are going to come out. Because we all have an embarrassing adolescence. So some of us resolve it and move forward, some of us don't. So if you have the kind of guidance that happened here, then life takes a different turn. But I can tell you from personal experience, so first 25, 26 years was probably the shadow and now it's the persona. You may have thought the reverse, but it depends who guides you at what juncture of your life. So starting point, be who you are. Even if you're not on social media, it's not going to make a difference. I don't think it makes a difference. We are on all platforms. As a program, I'm on no platform, to be honest. The only place I'm still writing is X, which was earlier called Twitter. Right? Occasionally I probably write a post or two, which is something that I use. I am on some other platforms, including Facebook. I don't use it. There are people who are in team. I don't even know. When I have to buy a phone, I just tell them it should be exactly the same as the previous one. I don't want anything new. And please don't download apps. And please don't give me notifications. Notifications bother me. They give me palpitations. Right? You almost feel that there is one more work later. I don't need to be notified that some foolish person has gone to a vacation and is putting some foolish pictures with their family saying, oh baby, I love you so much. Right? If you want to love each other and if you want to put it on the platform, sweetheart, you don't love each other. Right? So, the fact that you need to do a public display of it, that clearly you're doing it for the public and not for each other. Right? So, be honest. So, if any one of you young people, if your partner is sending you a romantic note, embarrassing by people, on a social media platform, block that person, forget him, her, they, them, whoever. Just forget them, right? Run away, far away from them, because that's your big time social embarrassment. And I don't need to be told, certainly in Ahmedabad, whether you love me or not, because that was very controversial. Right? My adolescence was here, we can't afford it. The scariest part of this is it's been recorded, so I have to be very careful. Right? So, which also is very important, you're always been recorded, and that's not a delusion. Live your life like that, because the fact is you never know. You never know. Be very careful. It could be any person who could just be recording you and they would just put it on some social media platform. That will be viral. Yeah. So be careful about those things, because that's the world we live in. I mean, there's no point. I mean, today if somebody comes and tells you, I've been recorded, you are. Right? So, that is what it is. I mean, I've been getting my Google feeds become strange. It just keeps sending me Namtar Samosa, Namtar Samosa, Namtar Samosa. Because that was the idea to go to Maharaja and have Namtar. But damn it, they don't start on Sundays before 10 a.m. Yeah. I didn't know that. The reason I was late, young people, was I went to eat a Maharaja Samosa. So, just be yourself. It's fine. I do feel there's a role. I just don't feel we should take it too seriously. I think everything should be used the way it can be and should be. And I don't think relationships are going to be made on social media. They should be broken on social media. That's how I look at it. Again, this may be old school. But I do feel that if COVID hasn't taught us the importance of relationships, I don't know what else will. But it's just a social conformity aspect, the bandwagon, the herd behavior that we have, the sheer pressure of comparison that we go through. I mean, I feel this and years to come are probably not the best times to be born. I think we were born in a very, very lucky time. Good old school which had only fans, sometimes the light wasn't working, we were all fine with it. Right? Now it's a nightmare. I don't blame them. I mean, I can't imagine. In civil we had one room with AC by the way. Yeah? in our ward. We had one AC room, never sat in it. I think it was the EEG room, never did house use it. I still remember EEG that was coming in the exam, उसके 3 EEG होते थे, पता होता था पहला कौन सा, दूसरा कौन सा, तीसरा कौन सा. ना मुझे तब समझ में आता था, ना मुझे अब समझ में आता. इधर दूसरे में handwriting. So my day one, I had written notes and Panchal was there and he told me that, yeah, can you write medicines in capitals? From that day to now, sir, I have always written in caps. So haven't been sued for a long medication, primarily because I am using caps. Take feedback, it's quite okay. I mean, my handwriting is horrible. I mean, you need to have insight. If somebody is telling you write horrible, you are writing horrible. I mean, my child psych teacher is no more, but there's a story of, may God bless, Dr. Kamilwani. I was a child psych. I wrote a history, my beautiful handwriting. She called me, told my history. Just gave the last paragraph. One. Then she said, यार तुम चले जाओगे, फिर कौन पढ़ेगा? Point. Caps. So, if you are aware about what, and that's why I keep saying this, it is actually about insight. If you have insight about who you are, what you want, what a medium is, how you want to use it, how you don't want to use it, if that is on track, then you will be able to manage it well. But if you are going to be swayed, see, you are not, how many people have viewed and how many people, you're not going to monetize your feed. Be very clear about it. It's not going to happen. Do what you are supposed to do. You just put out there what you want to. I do feel a presence helps. Presence helps because the world has changed. So yes, some of you, when you will be practicing years to come, people will go and search about you and I. Which basically means what is in your control? Internal locus kya hua? What have you put out there? Right? Now, if what have you put out there also includes the silly stupid stuff, then that's on you. That's why the fact that you will be searched, also because of telemedicine happening, boundaries will be, in years to come, I see geographical boundaries of countries diluting when it comes to branches like ours and maybe even others. You look at how that telemanas is growing, and it's a fantastic thing to be able to know that lakhs of people can take advantage of a telemedicine which was not there. I practice now, 80% of my practice is only telemental health. It's only 20%. Now post-COVID I never started my physical OPD the way I used to. So I do 3 and 4, 7 and 3. That's it. About 10 odd hours a week on, that's about it. Physical is all I do. And rest is all online. And the reason I did that was, I realized that because I continued to do online, my non-NCR and non-urban patients increased. And that's the realization I had. So my colleagues who were doing largely physical practice, their urban clientele was much higher. Mine was relatively lesser in terms of the immediate geography of where I practice in NCR. And that's what motivated me that I should just continue doing it. And then you will have some of these humbling experiences where people who would have otherwise probably never wanted to see a mental health, I mean, could have seen a mental practitioner because seeing a mental practitioner would have been for a 3-day commute or a 2-day commute and 3 or 4 daily wages lost in a way. And I do feel that telemental health needs to be utilized by all mental health practitioners at least some time of your week, if not a lot more, because you will be able to help a lot many more people. Especially people living in cities like, including Ahmedabad, because the percentage of experts is significantly high. So if you can also cater to places where percentage is low, then I do feel that that kind of matches the reach that we can. And I do feel that that's something which is very important. So yes, have a presence, create, give enough stuff out there that you believe in, which also is backed by science. Now if you believe in it, and if you are doing something, and you are giving empirical, anecdotal evidence. In an interview, I was told this 3 days back by a psychologist whom I was talking to, that anecdotal, personal experiences are more important than science. Right? Now that happens when your reading during your academics is not happening through actual books. I feel very, very uncomfortable when reading happens on PowerPoints. I feel very uncomfortable when textbooks are not shared, and they are not shared. I mean, let's not fool ourselves, because that's not happening the way it should be. Again, research articles are not shared in the conventional way, largely because we look at the phone. And that transition is bothersome, probably something that needs to be done. So moving forward from that, so what you should do is, as a summary of this aspect of what I'm saying, who you are, stay within it. Please don't call yourself an expert in something that you are not. So for example, you can't call yourself, like I said, a motivation expert. You can't call yourself a parenting expert. You are not a parenting expert. You are a mental health professional who also deals with parenting related concerns. But to call yourself an expert in absence of a qualified, certified course, you can't do that. And you can't claim your interest as your expertise. In fact, if I was to, if I had a wish list, I would absolutely disallow testimonials of any kind. I think it's just unacceptable. I think a testimonial is nothing except a transference misused by a physician across the board, whether you are from field A, field B or field C. You are misusing the transference of an individual who came to you for help, and because you are asking this person to go in the public domain and tell about how you have helped them, that's absolutely unethical, unacceptable. Right? I think as mental health professionals we may be more sensitive when it comes to some of these ethical aspects, but I find testimonials as obnoxious usage of transference by healthcare practitioners globally. And I think it's something that one needs to think about, because it's not nice. I also feel that sharing images of doing an actual consultation and just by hiding the face by putting a ridiculous emoticon is not okay. Why do you have the need to show you are taking a consult? I mean, that's what you do. If this would have been a surgeon clicking a selfie from the OT, you would have reacted to it, right? You are doing your work, why should that be out there? Why would you do that? I don't say no to a, well, I still call patient, you can call client, it's all fine, right? But if they want to take an image, well, so be it. I can't post it. It's not okay. It's a breach of privacy. There is no implied consent. You've either taken it or not taken it. There's nothing implied about it. And be very clear about this. So next time, if you are on social, please don't share testimonials. And also, please don't say that you are humbled and share an achievement of yours. It's an oxymoron. You can't be humbled by sharing what you got on the public platform. How is it possible? If you are humbled, you wouldn't share it. It's like me sharing today, I'm humbled to be called by Dr. Himanshu Desai. I'm not, I can't share on LinkedIn and then say I'm humbled, right? I am humbled. But that's an internal feeling. It's not something that I need to be reinforced, and it's not something where I need likes. It's an internal feeling, it's gratitude. Right? It's gratitude because Who are you without your teacher? Absolute nothing. Simple as that. Terrible public speaker. What terrible. Dr. Himanshu attended my first talk. Right? And then he told me this won't work. Samajh aave na aave, maja bhi nahi. Right? From that till this day, I have understood this. Then what's the point? I mean, I can give the most boring lecture and make it so perfect that everybody might be so well asleep. But if I need them to understand something, I'll have to basically look at it and give them those mental breaks as well, right? Because human attention span, it's a neurocognitive thing. So yeah, don't be humble and don't be overwhelmed and don't be a founder of something silly that only you know. And don't claim expertise that you don't. Just don't do all that. In years to come, and believe me, today we are laughing together on this. 70 to 80% of us are going to do this. Because statistics show that that's what is happening. You look at profiles of mental health practitioners, you will realize this is happening. So what you and I may be laughing today at, we'll be doing it tomorrow. And I've always believed people are watching in any case. I mean, I used to say that when I used to take parenting talks that somebody is watching, a child is watching. I have a big problem with young people's role models giving advertisements of gambling. I have a big problem with them giving advertisements of addictive products, surrogate or otherwise. I have a very big problem with stand-up comedians using abusive language and profanities. I have a big problem with that. I mean, if you can't make a person laugh without using a profanity, then the joke is on you. And if you only need to use a profanity to make somebody laugh, then the joke is still on you. And if you are going to listen to profanities, then now the joke is on you. Right? Because you're actually paying for that to hear abusive words. If you believe that reality television is real, then this does have a 24/7 helpline in this corner now. There's nothing real. You can't treat an unreal situation that claim it's real just because it was shot under cameras. I mean, people don't live like this. But it's claimed. Now look at how algorithms are working. Look at how words are impacting our psyche. So you will read something that this show on this OTT platform is binge worthy. Right? Binge and worthy can't go together. It's very basic. How can binge be worthy? Now you may be liking the show may be all fine, but the pressure on you is to see it today. How can you see it today? 6 to 8 episodes, 45 minutes each, the match doesn't work. If you will watch it today, you won't sleep. If you won't sleep today, and assuming it's not a manic episode, you will be tired tomorrow. So how does it work? And this is the sway that you have, right? There is nothing made in 2 minutes. I hope you understand that.